Hi, today I'm speaking with Nick. Nick has a lot of projects going on, so I was actually stuck on how I should introduce him. Honestly, every interview so far, I've run into this dilemma. Everyone is so multifaceted, and introducing them by what they're working on or a specific title makes me feel like I'm not honouring them as the multifaceted being they are, that has multiple interests, passions, and who they are beyond their work and credentials. At the same time, this podcast is about talking to people from different backgrounds, and giving an overview of who they are and how they choose to live is kind of necessary, and it also just lets you know more about the type of human you're about to hear from. So I guess I will keep giving an introduction of my guests and what they do, but just know that it's a preface? I don't know which one it is. That they are all obviously much more than what brief overview I can give them. I also just don't want to misinterpret them because how I introduce them is just my perspective, and so I'm kind of thinking from now on, I'll ask the guests prior how they would like to be introduced to you all. Okay, so on to Nick. Nick has studied business. He's a business analyst by trade, but he's also a filmmaker, photographer, sound healer, and has just started a festival called Selfseeker. That's all about connection. He's also starting a really cool website. It will basically be an archive of a range of different teachers that are masters in their area sharing their expertise. Now, I know it's kind of random how long this episode is compared to the other episodes this far, but I didn't want to break it up into separate episodes because something about leaving the conversation how it naturally progressed feels right to me, and I couldn't bring myself to chop it down because it's a really interesting conversation that takes us in many different directions. I'm excited to share his unique perspective on life for you to ponder today and hopefully expand your own perception of the world, like is the hope with every episode. Oh, also Nick has an obscene amount of instruments, like 37, and I was lucky enough to hear him play during our conversation. I'm probably most excited for you to hear that today because it was such a beautiful experience, the music, being outside in nature, and just thank you so much, Nick, for giving me that experience. It made me feel really present and connected, and listening back to the audio, the magic was definitely captured in the recording. So I'm going to stop adding to the length of this episode now and introducing Nick. Wait, can you say something?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. It seems to be working.
Okay. As I was riding the train today, I had a channel message. I was like, I want to say this today.
Okay, exciting. I'm so...
Should I begin?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
whenever you're ready.
Okay, so today's message that I received when I was on the train coming to see Bella, this is what I got. When you do things for others in life, do something that's equal or the same for yourself too. We get caught up sometimes in doing things for people, and it becomes more of a habit. What also becomes a habit is not doing things for ourselves. So we go into the background. To truly appreciate life, we need to appreciate ourselves. How do we do that? By giving ourselves experiences. It can be a physical experience. It can be an emotional experience, like watching a movie. That's an experience. You have an experience. But what I'm specifically saying here is when we are serving people, we should also consider ourselves. If we can't do it before, then do it after. But let's not be in a rush to keep helping other people and giving other people parts of ourselves, because we'll end up with a cup that's needing refilling. And we don't want to come to that stage. We want to fill our own cup each time. When we pour out to others, our cups are emptying. That's the first one.
Oh, but we've got multiple.
Yes.
But just on that one,
Yes.
Is there anything that you did today for yourself or that you plan to do?
Thank you. I did something for myself. I took the time to make my breakfast, which for me is my comfort food. So every day I usually have chai. Chai is Indian style tea.
Mhm.
And when I do that, it reminds me of my mom, reminds me of my home, reminds me of my dad, because we would all sit and have chai together in the mornings. So I'm like, okay, I don't have anyone around me, but it's just me, but this is my comfort. So I do that for myself every day, just to take the time to appreciate what goes into preparing something that will serve as a medicine for me. Food is medicine.
Beautiful.
So the next one, I thought of offering a new service through Selfseeker. Let me know your ideas. This one is called Tune Yourself.
Tune yourself.
I use sound, breath, and the mind to tune someone, to give them a reset. The idea is have a reset, like sort of neutralize everything, bring everything into balance. If something's too much, bring it down. If something's too less, bring it up. And people can pay what they like at the end of the service. So it's just a thing that I literally wrote in a train 2 hours ago. I want to use, tuning forks, gongs, the drum, my quartzophone crystal harp. So it's a harp made of quartz crystals, and that's my prized possession. I have a few other instruments that I would like to use and see if it helps people. Because I'll set the intention that we want to reset you.
So would it be it's on the Selfseeker app or whatever you create with it? Would it be its own little...
I'm thinking I'll have to start by putting up a little page on my website. It's currently undergoing a little transformation. So I'm just finding the right people to work on my website. But this will be one of the offerings.
I love the sound of it, and it's cool that it just came to you on the train.
Yeah. So if anyone is listening to this, you're welcome to get in touch for this. So when I interact with people, I believe in creating something special. So consider this a special offer for everyone who's listening to you. So it's outside of this, I'm not going to talk about it.
Oh, wow, little insider. No, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And I'm sure that whoever's listening, it will get to the right people.
Right. It'll have a program. The Tune Yourself system will have a program. One of them is more time spent in the sun away from devices. That's one of the first things we'll need. Then I've written, we will resolve your chaos together. And the aim is to create harmony in people's relationships. Every person has a relationship that's going on constantly at some point in time. If there is no one else around, we are having a relationship with ourselves. How are we treating ourselves? Are we looking after ourselves? Are we disregarding ourselves? It's a relationship.
The most important one is got you for life.
Exactly. You're stuck with this person.
Damn it. No.
So you might as well look after them and keep it, harmonious. That's the idea. So every interaction is a relationship, and you will be encouraged to watch your words and your actions. Today, I learned a little lesson from looking after walking this dog that's completely deaf. What I found interesting is how it applies to certain people.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Okay. This dog was not intentionally deaf. It was born deaf. And it has had interactions with various people fostering it. So it hasn't connected with one person truly. It doesn't know me because I met it yesterday for the first time. But it allowed me to take it for a walk. It was a bit hesitant. It sat down and was looking at its owner and be like, why are you not coming? Why am I going with this guy? And once it started walking, it did not stop pulling. it kept pulling so hard, and this is a very strong muscular dog, and I've just had both my hips replaced, so I had to steady myself quite a bit. And what instinct told me is, don't try to do what you would normally do with a dog, which is you'll just call or say something, it can't hear you. You also don't want to touch it suddenly, because if its focus is somewhere and you touch it, that's new to it. It's like, where did that come from? You know, and it may bite you in response. So I had to be careful. So I had to strategize on how I'm going to touch the dog. So the first thing I did was to let it know that, hey, I know you're pulling, but I'm always here. I'm here with you. You're not by yourself. So kind of letting you know that you got to be aware of me. And I may brush against you, I may touch you. So that way it's like, okay, fine, it's a person. It kind of forgets that someone is holding it, because when you don't have your ears, there are other senses that are also squashed. With respect to people, some people are intentionally deaf in life. The reason is so that they can focus fully on the task at hand. Imagine you're doing something. You want to get it done. But if there's a distraction, there's people calling your name, there's a phone ringing, there's a notification, someone knocking the bell, you can't do what you're trying to do, you see? So some people will literally become deaf. Okay, this is a bit personal, but I know a person who is deaf in 1 year, who literally did not hear me tell her that we were not in a relationship until she healed her traumas. She heard everything else. But when I said that, she would never hear it. So it's a case of active not listening.
My mum always used to call it selective hearing when I was
Yeah,
little.
exactly. That's another word for it too. Yeah. I'm just diving a little deeper. Yeah. So with this dog, what I'm trying to say is you got to approach people carefully as well sometimes, because they might be temporarily deaf to us because they are so focused on something they are doing in life. So your words and your actions will fall on deaf ears, if that makes sense, because they're busy with their thing. So don't waste your energy trying to convince someone of something. Although they're listening, they may not be hearing. And be gentle always with them. So with this dog, right, I had to be super gentle. I can't be sudden and make sudden moves because he doesn't know me. Last thing I had here was, let us use beauty that we come upon as a temporary distraction from scrolling through life.
Like the little frogs and mushrooms we saw.
How cool was that?
Yeah.
Life gets so busy, we are constantly scrolling. Literally, we're scrolling through people, or we are scrolling through posts, scrolling through relationships, friendships, whatever. Okay.
In respects to literal scrolling, like on social media, it's something like, apparently, like we scroll like Mount Everest, like the tip of the average person scrolls the height of Mount Everest in a day. I'm like, in a day? That's insane. Wow. But I don't know if someone's gonna have to fact check that. But that's something that's definitely been coming up for me a lot, is social media and the use of balancing, because in the world that we're in, it's going towards, and it is a beautiful thing, like social media, it has, if you're putting out good content and your intention is good, like with Selfseeker, like the videos that you share, it's mind expanding, it's thought provoking. But then it also, I don't know, do you have Instagram or like short form?
3 profiles on Instagram.
Right. So yeah, my problem is, even if you're putting out good content, it's feeding into that short form, the scroll. Yeah. And that's just brain rotting content. So I've heard. I'm no expert, but
yes. True.
And it's how you balance like being on, because that's how we do everything these days, is through the phone, through social media.
Yes.
That's how you make things happen. But how do you balance it with the world? And
it depends on where you are in life and what your focus is at that point in time. Where you are is different from where I am, or where someone else is, and why they are using social media, what the intention is. If your intention is to create meaningful content, you're going to do what's comfortable for you to start with, but then you're going to see what is popular and trending, because your idea is to become popular eventually. I have no idea who you are. I have nothing. So I don't know how popular you are, but I'm just saying, if you want to be that, then you'll have to look at what can make things popular. What I suggest, this is my personal suggestion, in becoming popular, we don't want to lose ourselves. We don't want to lose who we really are. Some people do, and you can see them losing it. They are not their true self at all. When you're going into media, you're going in front of a camera, putting on a front for the world to see. You got to choose what side of you do you want to show people. Are you showing the real side? Are you creating a side? Are you showing a hidden side? Which side are you showing? Then if you want to analyze deeper, you can be like, what can I do by being that? What can I create with that image? There's something I want to talk about, and this might be a good platform for that. I heard a story that my friend posted of a young boy who was chatting with somebody and then ended up sharing nude photographs with them after he received what looked like a nude photograph or a girl or something. And then he straight away got a call from a man, and that man said, pay me $500 or I'll reveal your photographs to all your friends and everyone. And the boy then made his dad talk to the man, and the dad said, I'm going to get the cops, I'm going to do this. He's like, I don't care, I'm still going to do it anyway. And then he released the photographs, and then the boy committed suicide. So it's pretty sad and pretty scary.
Yeah, it's just how the title of the podcast is How Are We to Live? And these are the sort of things that I'm just like, how do we be with all this stuff that's going on?
Yeah. So you got to start with a foundation.
Foundation.
A good foundation is, don't believe everything you hear. Don't believe everything you see. You have to start to develop an inner awareness of yourself, of you, who you are, what intuition is, so you know what is right and what is wrong. If something doesn't seem right, it may not be right, even if everyone there says it is that. It may not be. If I'm talking to kids, it's different. If I'm talking to adults, it's different. So if I was to talk for adults, I would be like, maybe take time out from your devices. How are we to live? Take time away from your devices. That is there to serve just limited purposes. Don't make it your life. You don't want it to control your life. Eventually it will control your life. Just like cars right now, they control a lot of things. I had a friend come from Melbourne, and he booked a hire car when he stayed over in Brisbane to attend my conference. His car had a big fat camera looking at him 24/7. It was there.
No shame.
You can't move it. You can't touch it. It is constantly recording you. Your face. Where are you looking? What's going on here? Are you drowsy? Sure, that's all safety features, but also invasion of privacy. So the system is coming with full intention of hunkering down on you, keep you completely under control. Where are you going? If you're walking on the street, there's a camera that can pick you up. If you're driving a car, there's a camera that can pick you up. Your phone obviously knows where you are, but I'm saying, even if you stop using the phone tomorrow, you can still be picked up.
You know how we were talking before about, and then I was like, well, why does it matter? And you're saying like the control thing. But my thought is, now that you're speaking, like when you're aware of it, like aware of what they're trying to do, does it matter? Like to you, like if you know that that's what they're trying to do, so even if they have this information on you, you're not going to just give into it. So it doesn't.
It is because, look, It depends on how you live in life. Are you living just for yourself, or are you also living for others? I look at my friends' children as my children, and their health and safety is important to me. So if there's something that can affect them tomorrow, I would like to tell the parents, hey, just so you know, this is going to affect what's going to happen. It's up to you what you do with that, your choice. So I do it for that reason. I don't have anyone. I'm just by myself. And once I'm gone, I'm gone. It's over, game over. But if I can leave something behind, just people be aware of this world. Don't take everything for granted. That's all I'm saying. Because the world is a difficult place right now, and there is a spiritual battle happening. What is the battle for? It is for you. It is because you are valuable. People are valuable. Our energy is valuable. So when we use our energy to create fear, that's helping them. That feeds them. These are energetic beings that consume what we give out when we are in fear. So if you're constantly under threat of your job, losing your job, right? That's a state of fear. You're in fight or flight. You're like, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. My boss is going to ask me this. Okay, next week, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. My boss is going to ask. It happens every week. When is a time where you're like, okay, now my boss is happy and done? Is it? No, that's never going to happen.
So how do you get to a state of being content with all that? And like, okay, maybe I lose my job tomorrow for being an individual, because how do you just get to a point and be okay with that?
So my suggestion is to get out of the system, but there are two ways of doing it. One way is you see an opportunity and you take it and you jump ship, basically completely flip over from a 9 to 5 to a business. But that's if the opportunity is there, either created by someone else or for you created for yourself. The other way, or the gentler approach, is to do something small slowly. So start small. Like, I want to write a book. Write 1 page today. By the end of a year or 6 months, you'll have a book, and then see what happens. Where does it go? Talk to your friends about it. So what happens that way is you're slowly getting out of the system by creating something else, but in a more gentle way, and it's not affecting your 9 to 5 job. You're still doing it. Now, I'm also not saying that all 9 to 5 jobs are bad, because there was a beautiful job advertised recently for a business analyst, which is me, with Queensland Health. And they are creating a new program called Better Care Together. And it is for a system created for looking after Queenslanders who have drug and alcohol addiction, mental health issues, challenges, and are feeling suicidal. So I'm like, oh my God.
Did you apply?
I hope there's a great business analyst who can help them. But if not, I would love to try. I would love to give it a shot, because it's a topic I'm very close to.
How so?
I've been working with people who've been feeling suicidal for a long time, and I've used various ways and means to get them out of feeling that way, and a lot of them have. And some I've never seen again. Some have wanted to remain friends and continue to be friends with me even today. It's for some people, it's like just a normal feeling. Like they wake up and they're like, "Do I want to live today? I don't know." It's like that simple for them. It's because of what they've gone through. They've gone through some deep, dark times where they were by themselves. They were in a lot of pain. Pain is the quickest way to start feeling like you don't want it anymore. You don't want to deal with it anymore. And I've felt like that a few times because the pain was so intense. And if death is the only way that resolves it, why not?
Yeah, it's like if you already feel like you're drowning. Why drown another day?
So there was a time when I actually jumped in the ocean at the Gold Coast, and I swam, and I was feeling like very disconnected with everything. I'm like, I don't care about anything or anyone anymore. So I was like, ocean, if you want to take me, just take me. And I just became like lifeless in a way. And I was going through these huge waves, and that was a fear of mine. I have a big fear of sharks and big waves. I'm like, that's like the worst combination, a big wave and then possibly a shark in it. It's not going to happen, but well, it could happen because I had recently gone to an island and there was a shark that came near me and my friend. And someone on the beach warned us, there's a shark near you, and we ran out.
Oh, God.
So we came pretty close, but anyway. Yeah, at that time in the ocean, I was like, I'm happy to give up. So I said to the ocean, if you want to say, take me, take me. And I actually lost strength. I couldn't swim anymore. But the ocean took me back. And then I wrote a poem about it because it said, it's not your time. There's still work to be done, and I'll ride with you.
Do you remember the poem?
It's probably there somewhere on my phone. I just don't have it accessible right now. But yeah.
Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. I really appreciate that. Probably not an easy thing to share and talk about. So thank you for doing that. It definitely, just talking about it helps other people. So, and I'm just curious. The ocean brought you back. The universe brought you back. There's work to be done. So what have after that experience?
Okay. So I've held 3 festivals last year. I call them Selfseeker festivals. And I've held 1 festival this year just a few weeks ago. So at my festivals, I gather teachers, people who are highly knowledgeable about a particular topic. Usually it has to do with music or vibration or health, food, lifestyle, self-development, all of that. So I hold these events in the mountains, usually at a not-for-profit organization, and I've held all of the ones until now at that particular venue. We were raising funds to build a toilet for the handicapped. Because the owner, she's 90 years old, and she walks with a cane. And at one point in time, I forgot my walking cane, and she gave me hers.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And we make so much fun together. She's amazing. I learned a trick from her. There's only one toilet there at this mountain venue. So she drives the car all the way to the toilet door. So I'm like, I'll do the same thing. So I don't have to walk all the way because it's on a slope like that. And for someone with, this leg is shorter than this leg. So I'm a little off balance. So we wanted another stable toilet. That one's on a slope, right? So we wanted it somewhere stable. So they are collecting funds right now to build a toilet. So the intention for the festival started from that. So I gave a percentage of my funds received from all my events to build the toilet. They're still collecting funds. What's coming up next? I've held 1 conference this year. It's called Using Plants as Medicine, Music-Infused Conferences to Raise Awareness. That's the full title. So all my events have a lot of music in them, music and dance. And so I'm going to be the organizer of the conference. And they want to go bigger, like on a larger scale, invite thousands of people, and preferably people who don't have any knowledge about this, like the general public, an introduction to what plant medicine is.
Okay, yeah.
I'm looking at creating a school. It's called Selfseeker Center of Learning. So it's like SCOL, actually, SCOL. So I'm gathering people who are experts in different fields to talk about what they do and share their knowledge. This will serve as an online library for people to access. You can watch videos from absolute masters. I've already started the process. I've got videos recorded. It's just a matter of cleaning up the audio, making the picture look a little pretty, putting it on a website and offering it to people. Because I do everything by myself, like I have to wait till someone steps in to help me with that project. But that's a mini project I've got. And of course, I have a YouTube channel. One interesting little thing is when I came to Brisbane 6 years ago, in 2018, I really wanted to make friends who were vegan, but also spiritual. What I mean by that is the spiritual part was more important than the vegan part. I'm like, where do I find people who are spiritual vegans? I don't know. So create the group. And today we have 850 members from all over the world called spiritual vegans. And after I created that group, so many other spiritual vegan groups started, and they have more numbers than I do. But when I started and I looked up the word spiritual vegans, there was nothing.
The ripple effect, and you did it, and then now it's going out there.
It's a cool concept, right? Spiritual. And what is funny about, well, not funny, what is interesting about my group is at least half the people are not vegan. And that's good because I want to help people who want to learn about veganism. And it's not a do this or you're dead sort of a situation, because some vegans can be like that, you got to be all in or nothing. It's not always possible to be all in. Some of us are still learning. Some of us may constantly be learning.
We all are.
So why make it so difficult? Make it easy. Let veganism be easy. I'm thinking of starting a 4-week program for beginner vegans. Like, what is the vegan lifestyle? What do we do in it? What are best practices? So I'm finding people who follow best practices, not with veganism, but with life. For example, one of my good friends is Amir. He's called the Herbal Tinkerer. He's an expert in teas. For any condition, there's a tea that can fix it. And I'm like, man, you got to talk at my event. So he spoke at my conference. He spoke twice. And everyone loved him. He's so cool. So he's part of my program. So in this 4-week coaching program, he will tell you what are the best teas for which season and how to look after yourself based on what your intention is. He will help you with that. It's a personalized program. And then I found someone interesting recently. She teaches people how to become a vegan chef. She's a vegan chef trainer. She's going to create a program within my program for people to follow recipes that chefs create. And her students are in the best restaurants across this country.
So there's going to be lots of different modalities and what you're creating, and something for everyone. And it's really exciting to hear about, and I'm so excited to see it grow and come into fruition.
You're probably the first person I'm telling this. I've just spoken to the presenters and they said, yes, I'm in. So whoever I speak to generally says, yes, I'm in. Because it's a great program, and the idea is to encourage people to consider. But if you're in it, we'll support you. We'll show you what to eat, how to look after yourself. And in those 4 weeks, ask any question you want. These are experts. I'm not the one who says, I know everything, ask me. I don't know anything, don't ask me anything. Ask someone else. But I'll find the person for you to ask questions. That's my role.
The connector.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why you sort of, like, what motivates you to do this and to be the connector and want to bring all of this together? Like, why? What's your why for that?
Okay.
Why?
I love this planet. I love the plants, the trees. I love the birds. They keep reminding me, hey, don't forget that. I love nature, I love animals, and I love humanity. So what I'm doing, I consider is good for humanity. It's going to benefit them. It may or may not benefit me, but it benefits them. So I guess this is what I want to leave behind.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's it. So we don't always know the answers, but I know people who can help us come onto the right track where we can find ourselves. No one can find you for you. You got to find yourself. But sometimes we get on the wrong track and you're going in the wrong direction. You're going down and you're like, where are the stars? Look, when you look down, you're not going to see stars. You got to look up. Because someone coming out of a cave, imagine how disoriented they are. They don't know where they are. They don't know what world this is. So I like to invite people who can guide us, because I needed guidance a lot of the time, and these people showed me how to get out of that dark place. This is how you get out of it.
Just by seeking.
Yeah. And you got to seek within. What makes you happy? You're seeking that, right? What makes you happy? It's a thing you're seeking.
Have you found what makes you happy?
Yeah, it changes all the time, because what I require changes all the time. My situation changes all the time, right? So if I'm feeling cold, the sunlight feels like it makes me happy. If I'm feeling lonely, then I play music and it makes me happy. It makes me forget things, and I develop a connection. So I develop a relationship with the instrument and we play music together. Nature makes me happy. Animals always make me happy. I've been trying to rely less on technology. Technology also can make me happy, but I don't want to focus on it. Like my movies make me happy. My photographs make me happy. But every time I use technology, I feel drained, because technology does drain you just through the radiation it emits. All technology. Your Bluetooth earphones, your watch, everything is constantly burning and hurting you at a very small level, but it's continuous. People who have Wi-Fi routers in their home, right? They leave it on at night. Why? Who is using it? Why do you need it?
Guilty, I leave it on.
We got to switch it off, because that's constant radiation in your house. Everything gets radiated, not just you, but your things, your clothes. And then you're wearing that, There is a science to it. It's not woo-woo stuff. You look at clothes, right? Some clothes are not good for your skin at all. Cotton is really good for your skin. Breathable clothes are really good for your skin. So there's a science to it. So what is your reason for doing what you do?
The podcast?
Yes.
Well, basically, existential dread. I just sort of just felt like, I don't know, I'm just sort of at the age, when you're questioning things, and I understand that we all go through it, and it's just kind of like growing up, but I've been finding it really hard.
Okay.
It's like what I said before, the title, How Are We to Live? Because that's what I just feel like. I'm like, there's just so much.
Yes.
There's so much that comes into it. It's like
quite intense.
Yeah,
right?
It is intense.
Yeah.
And I guess today, having the sort of conversations that we're having, it just helps me. And also I thought, well, if I'm feeling it, someone else is feeling it.
Yeah.
So by sharing, hopefully it helps at least someone else.
Yes, okay.
Because when I felt alone in those times, and I felt like I was crazy, and I was if anyone else is feeling that, they hear these sort of conversations and know that they're not alone, they're not crazy. It's just
that is almost very much in line with why I do what I do. So I've been here 18 years, and I was very lonely, because you can have friends, but everyone is focused on something in their life. At the time I was in university, so everyone's focused on completing study and university, not friendships. That's not at the top of their list. But being alone from another country, connection is something that could benefit me, if I had some steady connections. But I didn't have that. And I was forced to work really hard, work 3 jobs a day sometimes to be able to go to university. So I'm like, how do I find people to hang out with? I don't know. So maybe I'll introduce this guy to that guy, and then when they meet, I'll meet them too. And then I just kept doing that. I would organize events. I'm like, come, come, come. And they're like, why? They're like, I'm celebrating. I don't know. It's a Friday, so we're celebrating. Like, they were asking for a reason to celebrate. I'm like, I don't actually have a
we're
reason.
alive.
Yeah, it's just alive. Come along. For Asian students, when they come to this country, they are not very confident with driving. I'm very confident with driving. So I was always the assigned driver. And I take people on road trips, on events, like just traveling around the local area. I was living in Melbourne at the time. And Melbourne is so beautiful. The Great Ocean Road, Phillip Island with all the penguins. Anyway, so I was connecting people already on a subconscious level. I was like, just you meet you and you, because we are all going there. Well, you see what I mean? And then they would go on to do things. I have one interesting story. I connected a guy and a girl, and I connected a man and a woman. I say guy and girl because we were all younger, we were all much older. Both of them fell in love, The woman got sick, Cancer, died. Moved on, married again, has a kid now by himself forever. So I actually made that happen, and I could see the parallels. I'm literally changing people's lives. They're marrying each other, then one of them passes on, and it's from the same disease. It's unbelievable.
So what did you take from that story or that circumstance?
I was just observing what happens when certain people connect, and what are the after effects of the connection. In this case, this man fell in love with this lady and decided she was with me for 3 years. That's enough for the rest of my life. I'm like, wow, that's incredible. He's not even interested to speak to anyone. I try to set him up, but he's not interested. So I can't so much take away something. It's more of an observation and appreciation for life, because they loved each other that much that he doesn't want to move on. He's happy in her memory. He still wears her ring. So that's so sweet.
It is very. Hope everyone gets to experience that kind of love one day.
And this was an interesting story too, because he ended up marrying her cousin.
Okay.
She died, and then the cousin was divorced and by herself, and then he met her at his wedding to the cousin. So she was a cousin. She had come to his wedding when he married the cousin.
Right.
And then years later, he ended up marrying her. So maybe that's their way of meeting. I'll meet you when you marry my cousin. That's their contract. So we have soul contracts. So different people play different roles in our lives for different reasons. We don't always understand the reason, and we don't have to try and understand the reason, because sometimes you don't understand it till it's way past. Then you're like, oh, now it all makes sense.
So is that what a soul contract is?
You decide, this is what we're going to do. This is how you'll benefit from it. This is how I'll benefit from it. There may be no benefit for you in this lifetime, but meet me in another lifetime and I'll repay that. That's happened so many times. I'm still in a soul contract, but not a contract really. Soulmate relationship with my mom. So even in our previous lives, I've been her son. So I think I've always been her son. But my dad, who is her husband now, has been her father. And she told me this when she was under hypnosis. She told a whole group of people, because she experienced that in a group.
Right. So did you get into like this sort of spiritual beyond stuff? Did you grow up with that, or no? It was later on.
I was not at all spiritual. I don't even know if I'm still spiritual.
How would you define it, or is words constricting?
So your question was I always spiritual, or how did I get into it? I was not spiritual, and I think I really got into spirituality after I had a breakup that was really difficult on me. and I had to literally change cities. I had to get out.
Wow.
I couldn't stay there anymore. Yeah, so then I started on this spiritual path where I'm like, I just need to know some answers now because I'm so upset. And I've done this master's degree, I've got a diploma, I've got a bachelor's, I've done level 1 and 2 of Reiki. I still don't know all the answers. This is not fair. So I'm like, I'm going to find my own answers, because that person says that, then that person says something that contradicts that, and it's a logical contradiction. So I'm like, no, I need something that does not have a logical contradiction. There is no such thing.
That's what I was hoping to get from this podcast. You've just blown the whole thing. Oh.
There's no logical contradiction to life, because we are in control of things. We are in the driver's seat. You are driving your life where you want it to go. If I got a car right now, I can park it here, right? Technically, I could park it here, or you can just drive home, go wherever you like. So we are always in charge of our lives. The problem is when we allow someone else to take charge of our lives. When someone else does, hey, don't do it this way, you got to do it this way, for whatever reason. And if it doesn't align with you, don't do it. Do it if it aligns with you. But if it doesn't align, you should be allowed to ask questions. You should be allowed to pick if you want to do something or not. That is the simple essence of my spirituality. Don't stop me from asking questions. Don't stop me from breathing by asking me to wear a mask. Don't ask me to poison myself. Simple, right? Something that I think people should know. When I was new to the country, 2006 I came, 2007, 8, 9 I was in Melbourne. There was a very nice doctor. His name is Dr. Peter, his first name only. He suggested that I get certain injections, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure about injections. I don't like them. I have a fear of needles, actually. He said, yeah, there's this thing called flu that comes, so better take this injection that we give every 6 months or 1 year. I don't know now. I said, okay, I'll take it only because you're telling me to, but I'm not really keen and I'm not sick. I took this vaccination, and then 1 year later, when I was holding something, it would fall. I was holding a cup, it would just fall. I'm like, what happened? I went to visit India, and my mom was holding my hand, and she was squeezing, and I was like, yeah, whatever. She's like, can you feel my hand? I was like, no, what? I couldn't even feel her hand. So that's what that autoimmune disease did. There are myelin sheets. They're like wires and rubber around a wire, so the rubber has torn off. Okay. That's what happened in my nerves, and that was determined to be from the vaccine. I asked a neurologist, how do I deal with this problem, because it's affecting other body parts as well. She said, I'll probably give you steroids, because we know steroids can help relax the nerve damage. So she gave me steroids for 5 days. Every day, go and take a shot. She didn't tell me the side effects. The side effect for me was I got a condition known as avascular necrosis. Necrosis means death. I don't know what avascular means. I forgot. I did a certificate in medical terminology, but I don't remember any of it. So the bones are dying in my hip, and they couldn't take my body weight anymore. Eventually, they became hollow.
And this is from the steroids, the side effect of the steroids.
And I had to get both my hips replaced. So I got my first hip replaced 2013, second hip replaced last year. So you see the connection? Flu vaccine, needing steroids giving disease, artificial hips.
Just, it's insane. Just to think about that. There was nothing wrong to begin with, and then all of this has come from...
There was nothing wrong with me. And it also gave me another disease. This is like, buy one, get many things free.
We don't want these things.
So I was having trouble with my eyes. I was wearing glasses, but then I was not able to see clearly. So I went to the optometrist and got them to check it. They're like, okay, looks like your power has changed, the angle has changed, so take these new glasses. Okay. 2 months later, okay, your power has changed again. That usually doesn't happen. Something is going on. My eyes are constantly changing power. So I went in to get all these complicated tests that determine what's happening with your cornea. So my corneas are generally like this. Mine started going like this. Eventually, it can break and you go blind. So I was diagnosed with that. It's called keratoconus, and it's a real thing. And I'm like, how do we fix this? There is no cure. Okay, what can I do about it? They said one thing you can do is wear contact lenses that stop it from doing that, so it's like holds it there. I tried it, but then your vision isn't good. So which one do you want? You want to see properly or you want to prevent damage? I chose to see properly, see clearly instead of trying to prevent whatever.
Does that mean that inevitably they'll break one day? Or is it up to chance?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of chance there. I'm taking a chance.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing any glasses or contacts now because I just want to be able to see what I can see as long as I can see.
Yeah, be here now. How do you balance that actually, like being here now and also we do need a sort of like plan. How do you balance it? How do you decide, especially something like that, because that's a big decision?
When it's something of that nature, I would go by intuition. I'll be like, what feels right to me? Doesn't mean I won't try certain cures. And I've tried all the cures. I've tried the cures. They haven't worked. Or if they work, the side effect is too bad. I can't deal with the side effect. So how do you deal with it is go use your intuition and do always what is right for you. It doesn't matter if the whole world opposes what you do. Only then is a clear balance established, because you need to stand up for yourself. Others are not going to stand up for you. So don't be disappointed when others don't stand up for you. But you can't not stand up for yourself. Because with health, right, we have to put everything else aside. Health comes first. Or you're dead, basically.
Is there anything that you do to help you tap into your intuition? Does it ever get clouded or jaded in this world?
Yes, very much so. So everything that you see around us, all the technology, all the influences, all the television, all the advertising, everything is meant to have an effect on you, an intended effect. So what we need to do is take ourselves into a time and space where we are not affected, where we are not distracted, where we are free from attachments, free from expectations, free from stimulation. Like there's something constantly buzzing in your ear, like someone's constantly talking or playing some instrument or something. That's a stimulation. It's affecting you. You can't help it, right? So you got to take yourself into a place where none of that exists. There is peace. There is no noise. There is silence. Then you can actually sit with your thoughts and be like, what has been happening? Oh my God, life has been passing by. I'm already so many years old. And what have I done until now? Oops, I forgot about this. I thought last year that I was going to achieve this by this time, but I didn't do it. So you need to take time out for yourself, disconnecting from all the distractions, to do a self-check and a self-assessment. Where am I in life right now? Is this the path I want to go? 2 years from now, is this exactly what I want to be the foundation of whatever big happens 2 years from now? Or should I change something? Should I change direction? Or should I change the ingredients of what I'm preparing? So we got to decide that. The problem is others are trying to make decisions for us. Sometimes it's our parents that make decisions for us, sometimes our bosses that make decisions for us, or doctors, whoever. In my case, no one makes a decision for me. I make all my own decisions. If I go somewhere, it's because I want to go there.
Is the experience you had with the medical system, and is that sort of what prompted you to have that sort of mindset?
I would say so. That combined with all the other things I've experienced in life, where there's been discrimination, there's been attacks on me for who I am as a person of color. Um, there's partiality, and I'm a very average person. I'm completely average. Like, there's nothing special about me. When I worked in an organization, I'm very passable. It's like, we don't know who this person is, don't know what he does. That's not a bad thing, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. So I've made use of that. I'm glad that people don't think I'm very useful, because that's not where I wanted to be useful anyway. I would rather be useful in a community setting rather than an organizational setting. So there, if people put me on an important project, if I'm gone or missing, nothing should really be gone or missing. You know what I mean? I prefer it that way. I don't want to be a valuable part of a big technological organization.
Yeah.
I would rather be a small part of a community.
But why do you, I know you said it's not a good thing or a bad thing, but just like describing yourself as average and saying that you're not special, like, I just think like we're all so special. Like we're all like, just like we're all completely different and we're all special.
Thank you. There's a reason for that. I agree that we are special, but what I'll say is we are not special everywhere all the time. There are some places where you're not special, right? It is awareness of that. Are we aware that we are not very special? Good. That's a good thing if you're aware. What you do with that is up to you. You can either increase your awareness level in the organization, people know about you. Oh yeah, he does this or whatever. Or you can choose to remain anonymous. I prefer to choose to remain anonymous.
Yeah, we all have our own place.
So everyone is special, but do that special thing where you want to do it, sort of a thing, you know. But otherwise, I believe in attracting minimal attention, especially depending on what you want to do. If you're a spy, what are you going to do? Are you going to attract attention? No, you're going to keep it quiet.
So what I'm hearing is you're a spy.
Man, I'm creating the spy organization myself. Just me, myself, and I.
But I do want to be mindful of the time, because you have a puppy to walk at 4.
Oh, I walked him this morning.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
For that reason.
Oh,
because
okay.
I don't want to stress myself. You know? You asked about balance, right? So that's what it is. It comes down to, what is it that needs to be done in your life, which you know you need to do, but maybe you're having trouble squeezing it in. You got to create a plan that involves that activity in your schedule. How I create balance? I have times in my calendar for doing nothing. Resting, relaxing, nature, self-care, cooking. So when you do things for yourself, you're creating a balance. And do different things, not the same thing, because you want to experience different things. Your human body wants to feel warm, cold, vibrations, electricity, whatever, you know. One of my friends, she plays with magnets. So she placed a magnet here and there. I had electricity. They were not connected to anything. They were just magnets. But I could feel the power, and that altered the length of my leg. It's called biomagnetism. So if you look up biomagnetism Australia, that's my friend is leading that. So I'm just giving an example of how we feel different things, and we should continue exploring ourselves. When we explore ourselves, we find ourselves. And it's like you're exploring a new country. Like, why wouldn't you travel? Why wouldn't you go out there and see what's there? Your body is like that. Your awareness is like that. Your consciousness is like that. We need to explore it by putting ourselves in different situations.
what I'm thinking, what you said was, why wouldn't, like, if you go in a different country, why wouldn't you explore it? And it's the same with yourself. I think something I can think of is, some people are scared to do that. Like, they're scared to not just explore the world, but themselves. And I'm just wondering how to, like, how would someone work through that? Like,
Yes. Simple. By being gentle with yourself. Start by being gentle. Don't be afraid not to ask questions of yourself. Why do you want to do that? Like, I want to eat ice cream at 10 p.m. at night. Why? Like, is it hunger? If so, is ice cream the best thing for hunger? Or is it you want to feel comforted? And is ice cream the comfort food you seek at this point in time? You're not judging. You're not saying that's wrong, you should not do that. That's a judge. That's not what you're doing. You're just asking why. And then you have the answer, okay, go ahead, have your ice cream. So what you're doing is allowing yourself to be comfortable with yourself by questioning yourself, but in a gentle way. So that allows for more conversation. You want to go deeper with someone, right? Start gently. You don't ask the deepest question. Okay, what's your biggest childhood trauma? That's not how you start a conversation. You start by, what have you been up to lately? So then you lead into that. So it's all about strategy. We have to be strategic. If we want to obtain something in life, we have to create a sort of a strategy to get there. My area of focus is for young people. I want to help young people decide what they want to do with their lives. Do they want to have a career? Do they want to work in the community? Do they want to work with animals? Do they want to work for the planet? Do they want to be part of the system, or do they want to be out of the system? Like, there are so many questions, but when I ask these questions, it'll help them. They may not even know the answer to that, but it'll help them, like, okay, no, I definitely do not want that. So that'll come from within. It's like, oh no, I could never do that. Like, if you ask a vegan, would you like to work at a slaughterhouse? What do you think you're going to say? My fear is animal abuse. Like, I don't like to see it. I can't take it. I'm like, yeah, it's going to affect me very badly. There is something I've been wanting to do that I know will help animals. And I've seen that. I practice it all the time. I play music for animals. So it is my desire to go to a slaughterhouse and play for the animals, the ones who are about to be slaughtered. It is going to break my heart. It is going to hurt me extremely badly. But I think I want to do it anyway, because I feel even if there's one animal that will be affected and be like, okay, that's nice music, and that's the last thing they hear. I would want to take a few sound healers with me to slaughterhouses and play music. Not drums to create noise. It's more gentle, soft tones because you're comforting the animal.
Do you think that you would have to, the energy, you'd have to be there in person, or could you would?
I would do it in person. I would do it in person because I want to see the effect of what I do. I always want to see the effect of what I do as far as possible. So I've had animals actually be comforted and stop and look. Did you see the video of the little water dragon?
No.
Okay, yeah, I'll show you that. I don't want to say what it is, but something about a water dragon. So just watch and then you'll see what I'm trying to say.
And we'll link it so that everyone else can go see it too.
Yeah, okay. I won't say my music, but just generally music or positive music has a beautiful effect on all animals. It can heal them. There's a video that I've got where this pigeon that was hit by a car, I found it on the road and I took it home, and I thought it would be dead the next morning because it looked pretty bad, but it was alive. And then I played music for it and I comforted it, and the day after that you couldn't tell that it was hit by a car. So it was I was seeing magic happen, and I'm not saying I'm the magician, but I just saw magic happen.
And you think it's the same for humans as well? Because I mean, I say it's the same for humans. We're different animals, but we are just animals. Whereas, but you know what I mean?
More complex animals.
Yeah.
We have a lot more happening, not just in the physical, but also in the emotional, the spiritual, the different bodies that we have. Animals don't have so many bodies, as many as we have, so there's less to work with. So everything is quicker. Like they get damaged, they get really damaged, or they heal, they really heal. It's different on a different level. But without a doubt, people are affected by music. There's a video of one of my clients talking about how she was playing in one of my sessions. She found herself holding hands with different versions of herself and circling, going around in a circle. I was like, that's incredible. That's not my intention, obviously, but I don't always have an intention. That's why I let it free. Like let whatever come through, come through. Let the music do its job.
Yeah. Would you be able to share about what you were saying before about intention, the balance of having intention and free? Just because I think that was something really cool.
Okay. I think people like to think that there needs to be an intention behind every action that they do. And while that's good, I think we need to have an equal balance with respect to doing things without an intention, doing things purely for the sake of fun. Someone has got to have fun from that, and there should be no intention, no fixed intention, because if everything is using our mind and using our intention and using our focus, it takes away the pleasure of doing that. Like if you're creating a piece of art, do it with no intention, not for a customer, not to make someone happy or not to give someone as a gift, but for no reason. Just do it for the sake of doing it. And that can give us a lot, because that has no limits on it. There's no focus, there's no constraint that it has to be used only for this purpose. Could not be used for anything, or it can be used for anything.
And is there any specific way that you sort of, because to me that kind of sounds like, like flow state, like you're receiving.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying before, how when you have a fixed intention, you're boxing it in, and like you're not as open to receiving sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any? But it's not always easy to get into that flow-free state, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Not
How
at
do
all.
you get into it?
Again, it's like there are obstacles and hurdles towards the flow state.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to work our way around it. How do we create flow state is by, for me, how I do it is developing certain habits which I know have a positive effect on me. Like I just know how to make chai with my eyes closed. I just know how to do it because I just do it. And it has the intended positive effect. I feel warm, I feel comforted, I feel energetic, I can move on with my day. Like by the time I'm done with that chai. Gym, right? If I go to a gym, if I see a machine, I know what it does, I know how to work it. I don't have to put my attention and be like, okay, I need to lift that, pull that out of that, and then I don't need to do it. I just do it, it works.
Mm-hmm.
So we cultivate good habits that we know are going to benefit us. And we also are mindful of what is harming us. If we are not paying attention to something that we really should be paying attention to, then we got to switch that habit off. Like some people will have their notifications on when they're driving. That can be dangerous, right? Last year in October, I had an accident where the car in front of me stopped because it was raining, and the car in front of that stopped. So I stopped, and my car took a little longer to stop because it was raining and it was wet. But I still stopped like a good 1.5 feet away from the car. Then I looked behind, and this car is not stopping. And it came at me, and it hit me, and then I hit the car in front. So when I asked the lady why she hit me, she said, "Oh, you stopped suddenly." Well, if you had seen me, or you're paying attention on the road, you would have seen me stop. Then you wouldn't make it a last minute thing. So if we are tending to get lost in our own thoughts when we really should be paying attention, like driving on the road is serious stuff. You got to pay attention. You'll end up in an accident because you're not paying attention. So we got to pay attention to the habits which are taking us away from what we should be doing as well.
You were saying before, like it's become a habit now for you, just a subconscious thing to be present and aware of. Like, how have you cultivated that? Because I know, like, a lot of people, like including me, like when you talk about meditations, like I just can't meditate because it's just thoughts. But then it's like that's the point of meditating, so you can. But yeah, how have you cultivated that space so you don't get carried away in thought? Because it's just like you're there and you're like present, and all of a sudden it's like, how did I get here? Yeah.
So you're talking about distraction from thoughts or the monkey mind?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the mind will not stop. It is built that way to constantly analyze things. At any given moment, you're analyzing the sounds, the smells, and the memories created as a result of these things. Like sometimes you smell something and it takes you back. You're like, I remember that. You can't stop that. There's no way to stop that. What I do is I switch off all distractions. Then I find one thing to focus on. It can be drawing, it can be journaling, it can be playing music, it can be recording something I really want to say to somebody, and then switch everything off. And you're training your mind to focus on something. Like if I'm playing an instrument, right, I'm not going to think of something else because my whole being is into that action. So it is good to take time out from your daily routine to do things that require all your attention. And it can be something creative, or it doesn't have to be. You can just sit under this tree and not do anything. And I believe in being gentle with everyone and everything. So even with your thoughts, right, when you're getting the thoughts, you're like, okay, the thought came from last week, went to the market, potato was so expensive, I shouldn't have bought it. Okay, fine. No judgment. Just say, okay, next. So let the thoughts come, acknowledge them, let them go. It's only when you engage the thoughts that they become a problem. Like if you're getting a thought and you're talking about vegetables and you're like, yeah, it was too expensive. So that's an interaction. Instead, if you say, okay, then it moves on. So don't engage with the thoughts that are coming. Just observe.
Yeah, like where attention goes, energy flows.
Eventually, your mind will be like, you're not really responding to anything I'm throwing at you. I'm tired of this. Fine, I'm not going to talk to you. Done.
Like the birds when you don't give them food.
Yeah. So it's about training yourself. But you have to put yourself into new situations, new environments, new scenarios. Because your mind will be like, I know what's going to happen now. If you get on the bus, right, you know what's going to happen. The doors are going to close, the driver's going to start accelerating, you're going to find a seat or you'll fall down, whatever. So you know your mind can predict things. So you got to put yourself into a situation where your mind can't predict. It's like, I don't know what's happening. So you're like, mind, can you just not say anything, just observe for a while?
I guess, yeah, just like challenge yourself and like the discomfort, exiting the comfort zone is...
Yes. One of the funnest ways to train your mind is, imagine you're in an escape room and you have limited time. You have 10 minutes to get out. Are you really going to think about what your friend said 2 years ago? At that point in time, it's like, no, I need to focus all my senses into finding the key to get out. Right? So then you have to take control. You're taking control of all your horses. They're all in different directions. Hey, look at that. Hey, what about this? Can I get some of that? No, hold on. We're going to fix this first. All that later. Stillness. We need to find stillness. If you look at this image, there was complete stillness. That's why you can see the clarity. There's no difference between the sky and the water.
Who's this?
That's my dog, Jordan.
Your dog, Jordan. Hello.
He lives with my sister.
Oh.
And both of us have hip problems.
But you and Jordan?
He's limping at the moment.
Oh.
He's only 3 years old.
Oh no, he's going out in sympathy.
Yeah. So at one point in time, both of us were limping together.
In it together.
I'm still limping, but yeah, anyway, we're not together.
Yeah, I was wondering, was there anything that you like specifically wanted to talk about with your things that you have here,
Oh,
like
right.
that you wanted to?
Okay. Let's see, what have I got here? So I've got some papers here. So this was about my Selfseeker Festival number 4, which was held on 25th May. Kupirabin Wilderness is the location on Mount Samson. Beautiful place. I totally recommend it. This is what we would end up doing. Sit under a tree, read a book, dance. There were butterflies, there were birds. We would hug each other. So I want to encourage a system where people can access products and services that benefit their health even if you don't have the money. So I created a swap club. So basically, let's swap products and services. Like, I love getting a massage, and I'm happy to trade with someone who gives a massage. I'll give them a sound healing, play music instruments for them. So I have a thing going on with a therapist right now. She's given me 2 massages, and now I want to give her 2 sound healing sessions, and it works so well. I had a couple of meetings where we shared, we swapped crystals, vegetables, uh, honey, cookies, all sorts of things. And there was no cash, no mention of currency.
Yeah, sort of like going back to the
Barter system. So I want to keep that going. It hasn't happened too many times, only happened 2 or 3 times. I've had a photography exhibition last year called Beauty of Women. So it's 30 photographs of 30 women I've taken pictures of. And the youngest is like 6 months old. I want to promote taking pictures of nature, of animals, of ourselves. I think for me, photography is appreciation of who we are and what we are. Are we okay with seeing ourselves, who we really are? A lot of us are actually uncomfortable looking at the mirror because we see ourselves. And there's a problem. If you're not able to look at yourself, if you can't look into your own eyes, what has happened that stops you from doing that? Why is there so much unhealed pain that you're choosing not to touch? I also do breathwork coaching. I'm a little new to breathwork, so I'm a little shy. I'm actually a shy person. So I want to talk about this. This is my quartzophone crystal harp. I didn't bring it today because it's quite a big box. So these are crystal tubes, and these 2 are, well, this is the one I still have. I've sold them. So I import them from Canada, and they are made by this family-owned business that mines the crystal and then makes it into these beautiful tubes. And then I import them and I sell them. Today I've got here with me the Native American flute, which is this one, and a bamboo flute. So I love playing music instruments. I have about 37 instruments.
Wow.
And I play...
Not to flex or anything, casual.
I play all of them at varying levels of skill. I made a music track on the weekend that I'm super excited about. I just put it up on YouTube yesterday. Yeah, it's only 2 minutes and 20 seconds long.
Did you put it up on YouTube? Because I think your most recent video is when you were playing at a festival or like a gathering.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, that's
it
was
one.
a live one. Okay,
yeah. It was just taken on Saturday.
Yeah.
I didn't take any photos. Someone else took photos. I just recorded the audio. I love what it sounds like when I collaborate with other people. And the best part is I don't know them. I don't know what music they're going to play. I don't know what instrument they've got. But I just take whatever I've got and I create something. My next project is, well, one of my next projects, I have many projects. One of my next projects is a science fiction love story. It's about this pair of souls that are with each other, not always in a romantic situation, but across languages and time. So I'm going to create it in multiple languages, in languages that I don't know. like Japanese and French, maybe Spanish. Yeah.
Muy bien. No, are you going to, in languages you don't know, are you going to try and
I'm going to
you're going to
direct
do it
it.
yourself?
I'm going to direct it. I'll
Okay.
have a translator
Right.
with me,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, they got to say this line, and she or he will tell me this is what it sounds like. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not good enough. So change it to make it sound more expressive.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a complex project.
Yeah, because different
but it's one project, and all these episodes in different languages are part of that project.
That's really exciting. How did that idea come to you?
It's because of all these people I've met recently, and they're all incredible people. Like I met a Japanese musician, and she has an incredible story of recovery from cancer, and she was in palliative care, but she came out of that.
Wow.
So she inspired me. So she's going to play the Japanese version. She's going to be the lead. Then I met this incredible young lady who's 17, I think, and she applied for Miss Australia International, Miss International Australia. I can't keep up with the words, but she came second or something. And she's French. Her mom is French. Her mom is good friends with me. So I talked about this project, and she's happy to be part of it. So she's going to be the French character lead. 6 of my episodes are going to focus on women. 6 of my episodes are going to focus on men. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
No, that's so. So it's going to be a film.
It's a web series.
Web series. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how you're fitting so much in.
I don't know. They're falling all over. See.
Yeah.
They're like all over the place. Yeah.
But you still make time for the chai teas in the morning?
Yeah, I do. I do most days. I actually at the festival that happened, I took my chai equipment to the festival to try and make chai for people there. But then Maureen, who is the same 90-year-old lady, she's very strict. She's like, I don't want so much variety of tea at my event. I'm like, okay, fine.
I love
it. She's like, only 4 or 5 varieties are enough. And I do the chai, that would be another variety. Okay, fine.
What Maureen says goes.
Yes, she's the boss. There's no arguing with her at all. Yeah.
I love that so much. And
she's amazing. I've interviewed her. I haven't put it up yet, but I have interviewed her as well.
Well, I'm excited to listen to that.
She has so much wisdom for the younger generation coming up, and some of your questions may be answered there.
I will definitely be listening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just wondering, you brought some little,
yes.
things with you. I was wondering about.
Okay. So this is a kalimba. I don't know where it's from. I just bought it at a music shop because it looks cute and I think it sounds nice. Do you want to listen to it?
I would love to listen to it.
Okay, that's what a kalimba sounds like.
It's beautiful, just entranced.
Tell me, did you have any thoughts when you were listening to that?
I don't think I did. I just felt
awesome.
I don't know. I definitely didn't actually. I just felt. I think the only thing I thought, one thing was just like the birds and like the background noise, and just like I don't think it was a thought. It was more of like hearing everything come together. Like that just brought me into hearing everything come together. Yeah.
Really you become aware of the sounds. So you see how your mind stopped chattering. So you can use music to stop your mind chattering, but then you have to give it the attention.
Thanks for that. It was really cool. Thank you.
I'd like to play my flute.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So I have two. You can choose which one you want me to play. I don't know. This is a Native American flute. I think it's made in America. This is a bamboo flute. That's my latest instrument. Which one would you like to listen to? You don't have to. You can say, I don't want to listen to any of them.
I know. This is like the indecisive thing. They're just supposed to go. Well, the new one is calling me the most.
Okay.
But they're both.
This one?
I don't want to offend the other one because I love them both. I love you too.
It won't be offended. I need to stand up for this.
Okay.
Because playing the flute is a bit hard, but sitting down.
That was so beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you for sharing that.
There is wind, that's why I'm having a little trouble.
Sounds great to me. I wouldn't have even noticed if you didn't say anything. I was just like, yes.
Yeah, I have to play it another time in a quieter setting. It's a bit windy.
Still, like I said, great. I was just basking in it.
Thank you. Yeah, so I have a few instruments that I like to carry around. I also like to see the effect of my music on people. So this morning on the train, there was a young mom with a baby, and I think the baby was like 1.5, 2 years old, and started to cry a little bit. So I went close by and then played this song. And then I think the baby closed his eyes. And he saw me, he saw what I was doing, and then he's like, okay, fine, I'll sleep. It was more peaceful, you know. I think that is one of those situations where intention matters, because what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get them to relax, or are you trying to get them to get active and alert? You know, your music can change.
Mm.
If I wanted to create like a lullaby sort of a situation, it would be a different sound, right? If I wanted to be like, get up and dance, it's a different. So that's where it's good to see what intention you have.
You mentioned something, I think that was the second time you mentioned it, you like seeing like the effect of what you do, especially with music, that has on people. And I'm just wondering why that's something that, yeah, feels good to you.
Oh, because I'm a sound healer.
Mm.
Because I've done study in sound healing and the effect of instruments. So I'm constantly looking at the effects. That's the side effect of being a sound healer. Because you're like, oh my God, everything I say has an after effect. Everything I play has an after effect. Like there's something's going to happen as a result of this. And I don't know what it is. One person, not I, but someone else was playing music for in the coaching session for sound healing. She had to go home. She was like, I'm feeling sick, I'm going to throw up. So certain vibrations can make you feel unwell and sick. And she had to leave. There was one person at my festival who did not like crystals at all. So she was like, tell me when you're going to play the crystals, I'm going to leave the room. I can't stay there. So you got to know the effect.
Yeah, it's crazy to think there's just so many things that could be having an effect on you that you don't even know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? About not just me, but this. All that. See the 5G towers there? They are like giant microwaves. That's why we are seeing an increase. Well, we're not seeing it, but there is an increased number of birds that are dying in masses. And they are usually found near the 5G towers.
Right.
I used to share that information between friends. Be like, look at this. I think Europe, Amsterdam or somewhere, they were doing that research and be like, there are a lot of dead birds around because of the vibration and the radiation they carry. It's not healthy.
Yeah.
And if it's not healthy for them, imagine what it's doing to us. And we see that everywhere. Now next time we go around, just look around, look for them. You'll see them on all housing, commercial places, everywhere where there are people, you have that.
So what's the fix? Like, if that's just what it is everywhere, what's the fix?
That depends on who you ask, right? And what their intention is. If you ask me, I would not have that. I would be like, I don't want that much technology. I'm happy with 3G levels, that's bad enough. The reason why we are doing this is so that you have the Internet of Things connected. The Internet of Things? Basically, everything is connected. Your fridge has Wi-Fi in it. Your toaster has Wi-Fi in it. Everything is connected. And to have that level of connection, you need stronger systems in place. That's a stronger system. But what is that doing? It is enmeshing technology deeper into our lives. You can't go to bed without getting radiated upon. Is that a good thing? Who says it's a good thing? We don't know the lasting effects of that. No one knows.
Yeah, it just made me realize something, because like you hear about this stuff and like like the little things that you can get to wear to like protect yourself from the 5G.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's out there.
Yeah.
But I just think because we can't see the effects of it right now, like it's not.
So we don't pay attention.
Yeah, and it's like, of course, like what you're saying with the music, how it affects people. Like if the fridge is connected to Wi-Fi, like through frequency, like that frequency is going through us. So of course,
yeah.
But it's out there, like it's known. So it's just, but nothing's really changing that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
So
and nothing will until people actually do something. But who is doing anything? People are very comfortable. We are just seeing more and more of these pop up everywhere. I can tell you 4 years ago, that was not there. Neither were all the others. All this has happened in the past 4 years. You know how and when it happened? This is not my information, told by my friend in Melbourne. It happened during COVID. So when people are locked in their house, when there are curfews, if you remember Melbourne, Victoria, it was very strict. You couldn't go out. My friend said his friend who was in the police was telling them that they could see installing these at night or when there are very few people on the streets. So it's a technology from some Asian country there, and they had to get in specialists to install it here. I'm not saying that is good or bad, but the point is we are doing it when there is no one else, because they're being discreet about it. We don't want people to know. They'll ask questions. Why are you installing this? What is in it? Have you checked this? Have you checked? They don't want to deal with all that, right? So the best time is to do it at midnight or when no one else is around. No one's going to ask questions.
So what can we do as individuals then, like with not even just specifically on this specific topic, but in general in this, what can we do as individuals to
see what you want to focus on in life. Do you want to focus on yourself? Do you want to focus on your family? Do you want to focus on your animals? Do you want to focus on the ocean? Do you want to look after the coral reefs? I have a friend, he's a musician and he's a scientist. His name is Music of Manoa on Instagram. Okay, so he's so incredible. He goes on these reef saving programs. He leads those. I'm like, man, I can't wait to work with you. And not just there, but also musically. He plays the flute, very beautiful flute, and I want to learn from him. So what I'm trying to say is find something you're passionate about and then go deeper into it. Like if I love oceans and I love the reefs, I want to look after them, I want to make sure they're alive. I will go in that direction and work in that direction and see what I can do. Depends what calls you. And at different points in time, different things will call you in life. Remember, everything is temporary. Everything in life is temporary. I didn't know, but my hips were temporary. So when you know that every single thing is temporary, you'll be more appreciative. Ideally, you should. So what is it that you want in your life? Tomorrow, you're like, well, I want a healthy body for the rest of my life, right? Because I want to live healthily. Okay, look into what goes into making a healthy body. Your eyes, your skin, your hair, your digestion, your everything. Focus on that. So it depends on, for some people it's their relationship. I need to heal my relationship with my parents. Okay, take time to come out together, start the communication channel, start talking, say that you want to connect with them, see what needs working, what is preventing you from having a better harmonious relationship with people. There are people in my own family who don't talk to each other. There are siblings in my family who don't talk to each other. They're not ready to work on their trauma or what grudges they've been holding towards the sibling. Sometimes it's not even that sibling's fault, but you're still holding the grudge because they might have been like an indirect messenger or something like that. I feel these simple things could easily be just resolved with a chat. So I encourage people to work more on those side of things, their communication, because you're going to have relationship with people, and that should really take priority over your relationship with a device or with social media or anything else.
Something that I want to ask you before I ask anything else you want to share is, because you're in one of your videos, or maybe, I don't know, you wrote something, but you just like called yourself a student of life as well. And so I was wondering, what is one thing recently that life has recently taught you, a recent life lesson?
Wow, okay. Okay. It was very hard for me recently to tell someone what was really going on, like how they were making me feel. And it was not good. I was not enjoying how they made me feel, and I was just not able to tell them. Every time I thought of telling them, I thought, well, they're not going to like it. They're going to be upset by it. They're probably going to stop talking to me. I may probably never ever see them again. Do I still want to do it? And all this time the answer was, yeah, just don't do it. It's fine, because just enjoy the fact that they don't know how you're feeling, and you don't have to be responsible for what happens after you tell them. So it's safer not to tell them about how you feel. That was until recently. But I think it was just a little while ago. I'm like, yeah, no, this has been bothering me for a while. I'm not enjoying this. And I feel the relationship could improve, or your friendship could improve, your connection could improve if you're honest. What happens after that, you can't control, but you don't have to control it. We don't have to try and control the outcome of everything in life. But what we have to do is have boundaries, stand up for yourself, and let people know how you're making them feel if it makes you upset. And they continue to do that because they're unaware that it does that to you. So my life lesson was to tell the person that this is how you made me feel, and I didn't feel good. As a result, they're out. I may not see them again. But I've made peace with them. So when you make peace with whatever the outcome is of your actions, life becomes a little easy. So I believe in something called conscious decision making, where you're conscious and you're aware of your decisions and be like, okay, I'm going to do this now. I'm guessing a lot of people may not like it, but it's good for me, so I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm prepared to face whatever comes out of it. It may not be good for me also. For example, when I chose not to wear the mask to the tax office, I could have been fired. I wasn't fired, but I could have been fired. But I was like, I'm ready for it. I don't care. See what I mean? So I think it's important to just be conscious of your decision and let every decision you make going forward be a conscious decision. Because then you're training yourself, be like, okay, I'll accept whatever happens. It's fine. Because given my current circumstances and the knowledge I know, this is the best choice of action. It may not look pretty. It may not give what I want, but this is the right action. And don't criticize yourself for it. Don't judge yourself for it. Because after, people will question you, why did you do that? You should have done something else. But it's easy to say that because you were not in my position. You were not where I was. You were not in as much pain as I was. You didn't know what I knew, right?
Yeah, because when you're in that relationship and because you don't want it to end or you want to just enjoy the relationship, you have that, you're not bringing it up, but you have that underlying like resentment or whatever within you. So then, like you were saying, you couldn't even enjoy it anyway. That was just always, anything that happened was just lingering. So it's just, so what I'm getting from that is just honoring yourself, and then whatever happens, that's all you can control is being true to yourself.
Because when you are true to yourself and you do things for yourself, you always win. Even if you lose,
Yeah.
you always win. And maybe that is what is required, because that is what is holding us back when we don't do things that honor us. And we wonder, why isn't life going the way I want it to go? Because you're not honoring yourself. You're not doing what's good for you. You're doing what's good for other people, what does not offend other people, but you're getting offended every single time. And you're like, it's fine, it's just me, I'll just keep getting offended because that's what I've always been doing. But how is that helping you?
I just want to say thank you so much for your time today and just sharing your unique journey and experiences. It's really been really special for me, and I'm just really grateful that you made the time and space to do this, and everything you shared and sharing your gifts. Really, really beautiful.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for asking me those questions. No one's asked me those before, so it's fun to sort of dive deep into your own closet of knowledge or cupboard of knowledge, like, why am I doing that? Oh, right, this is why. Okay. So, thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to Cheryl say before?
Yes, you're doing an amazing job, and for everyone out there, you are doing an amazing job, no matter who you are and what people think of you. People will always think something about your actions and words, You need to be happy with what you're doing, and the world does not matter. If your heart is in the right place, you feel your cup filling up from your actions, just do it. And people may label you wrong or foolish or not very smart. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. And the only thing I would say is go ahead and make some mistakes. Anyone who works with me on my coaching program, I'm going to clap for them every time they make a mistake. If you're playing music and you need to hold a note and you fail, that's when I'll clap for you. Because it shows me you're trying. When you hear my music, anything on my YouTube, there are plenty of mistakes everywhere. It's never that perfect music track where all the notes are high. And when I listen to myself, I'm like, yeah, man, that was a really tough note to hold. And I can see it, I can hear it. So why not keep my imperfection in my piece? Whether it's my photography, whether it's my music, or whether it's something I say, you can always find some loophole somewhere. You can always find something wrong with it. That doesn't mean it's wrong. That's my intention, to show people that I'm a human being. I'm average. I'm not special. And what I'm doing has flaws. It has loopholes in it. But it's not going to stop me. I have won photography awards. I won 5 awards in photography last year with the Australian Photography magazine. I have won numerous filmmaking awards in different countries for 3 of my short films. I'm a published poet. It's just me trying different things. These awards don't mean anything. They don't mean anything really. I'm just expressing my creativity and myself. And sometimes it's through this or through that or through that. And today you gave me a chance to express myself through my words. So thank you.
Thank you for expressing your creativity, and in all, not just today, but in all the different ways, because it is a scary thing to do, and it's really cool to see someone doing it and inspiring to see someone just embodying their truth and being creative and letting it flow. So thank you for that. Being you. Thanks for being you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. And again, thanks to Nick for giving us the opportunity to peep into his mind. If you want to contact Nick about the Tune Yourself offer or anything else, all his information will be linked in the show notes, so you can find him there. I would like to hear if you have any opinions on this longer form episode, or any feedback on it in general, any thoughts it provoked in you, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Okay, have a great day. Peace and love.